This is the last chapter that we are going to be working from this book, Project Closure. Basically, every project has to be terminated. Some of them get terminated early, some of them get terminated after completion. So we need to have a process for actually terminating these processes, simply because there are a lot of loose ends that needs to be taken care of. So let's talk about how to identify different types of project closures, and also look at the challenges of closing out a project and see the importance of what is called a project audit and how to use project retrospectives to obtain lessons learned, which is an important part of doing a project. We also at this time would like to assess the level of project management maturity and look at team performance reviews and performance reviews of project members and so on and so forth. Project closure basically is got some deliverables that need to be completed. So, first of all, you have what is called the wrap-up closure activities of facilities, customers, vendors, and reports. You need to finish all that. Then you need to look at the auditing reports and see how to use the retrospectives for lessons learned. Then you need to evaluate the performance of the team and the team members, and then make sure that you give out rewards and recognition for some of the members who have done extremely well, and all the members who have been in the project for throughout the project. And all these should go into a database, into the project archives. And this basically becomes what is called a knowledge-based system, KBS, knowledge-based system. There are 5 types of project closures from this book. One is a normal closure. Another one is a premature closure. There is a perpetual closure. There's a failed project, and then changed priority. So you can see from the names itself exactly what's happening. A normal closure is when the project is completed, you're going to close it. Premature is if the project is started or not even started, but it is closed. Perpetual one is the project gets started, it is closed, then again it comes back, it gets closed again, then again it comes back. These are some of the pet projects that the CEOs and CFOs will have that keeps popping up again. And these are perpetual projects. Then you have projects which totally failed. And there are many, many, many of them that are totally failed. And then you have projects which have changed priorities as well. Project closure usually includes these activities. Getting delivery acceptance from the customer. That is the main thing. You want the customer to be satisfied with what's happening. Shutting down resources and releasing to new users. Reassigning the project team members back to their functions or back to their departments. Closing accounts, making sure that the procurement plans are paid off, the suppliers and vendors are paid off, and so on and so forth. Delivering the project to the customer after, after the acceptance test, and then creating the final report. So usually you have a closure checklist, and make sure, as a project manager, make sure that you have all the tasks of the team that you need to do. So make sure that you have all the things for the team first. So make sure that the performance reviews are done, and the rewards and the recognition R&R are in place. Make sure that everybody is rewarded and recognized. The vendors, make sure that the money is all given, the accounts are all closed, and everything is disbursed to them. Customers wise, everything signed off, and the project results are given to them, and making sure that they are doing a survey of the customers to make sure that they like the project or they dislike the project, and what parts of it they liked, what parts of it they disliked, who did they like, who did they dislike, all those kind of things. And then make sure that any resources that you have been transferred to the other projects, any rental or lease agreements to be closed out, all these things. Make sure that you have a good checklist and follow up with that. Projects audits use performance measures and forecast data. So auditors from the company, an independent group of people, will come and then make sure that the specifications and what the projects are doing are correct, the cost accounting and all that stuff has been done properly. The project manager has done the correct job in following the standards and all that stuff that they have established. So project audits basically use performance measures and forecast data. They examine the success of the project and review why this project was selected. They make sure that the project's role is in the organization's priorities, make sure that the culture is there, and these are small things. But then the main thing is to make sure that everything is done properly and legally and all that stuff. It can be performed while a project is in process or after a project is completed, but usually it is done while it is in process. And then the final audit is done after the project is completed. So post-project audits are more detailed and they are in depth, and then they make sure that everything is all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, kind of a thing, to make sure. Okay, guidelines wise, the project audit is not a witch hunt. It has to be done. Comments about individuals and groups should be minimized. Auditing activities should be sensitive. The accuracy of data should be verifiable, and this is an important part of it, and that is what auditing does. Senior management should announce support for the audit. The objective of the project audit is not to prosecute, but to learn and conserve valuable organizational resources where mistakes have been made. Audit should be completed as quickly as it is reasonable. Okay. Auditing process. Step 1 is to initiation and staffing. Who is going to do it, and what is the outcome? Then the data collection and analysis, information and data are gathered to answer questions. This can be done by interviewing project team members or the project manager or both, and some of the stakeholders, so that they can collect the data. It can be done by looking at reports. It can be done looking at the Gantt charts and other things and the reports that are generated from them in terms of cost and schedule and all that. The step 3 is reporting. The report attempts to capture any changes that needs to be done and any lessons learned from the current or the finished project. So this is the outline for the project audit reports. You have a classification, the project type, size, and all that. You have the analysis, including the scope objectives and cost and quality and schedule objectives, and the summary of all the risks and what are the outcomes that have been achieved, and what kind of recommendations are there, the corrective actions, and any other technical improvements that needs to be done. And lessons learned, reminders of mistakes and anything that people have learned, the project manager and the team has learned from conducting the project or implementing the project. And then of course any backup data and any information that is critical or pertinent. Retrospectives donate, they basically tell you the specific efforts and identifying lessons learned. Um, Usually, a facilitator, a trained independent facilitator, acts as a guide, leads the project team through the analysis of the project activities, uses several questionnaires focusing on project operations, and they interview the project team members, the project manager, and the stakeholders to see any cost effect impacts or any other impacts that the project has been through. And they work with a team to develop a system to prioritize information and then give it out to various people. The process review for the project, a questionnaire can be done. And this gives you some idea of how the questionnaire looks. For instance, the first question is where the project objectives and strategic intent of the project clearly and explicitly communicated. So you can ask the team members that, you can ask the stakeholders this, and you can find what they are answering and then put their comments over here. You can also find out where project resources are adequate for this project. So when the project is currently being held, when you ask this question, this is a great time to do for the project manager to say, hey, I don't have enough resources, I need resources. So it is documented in the process, in the project process review. Okay, so those are the things that you need to look out for. There are similarly, you have questions on the culture, on the norms, on the standards of the company, and everything that goes with the culture of the company. So, was the management supportive of this project? Their support, was it adequate? So on and so forth. The purpose of the project audit is also one more thing. You can see the maturity of the organization, how well this organization can implement projects with the best practices and with the standard project management guidelines. A project maturity model gives you a good look from an organization-wide point of view on the project itself. The maturity model of project management is ad hoc project management, formal application of project management, institutionalized of project management, management of project management system, optimization of the project management system. This is very much like the capability maturity model, CMMI. So you can visit Google and find out what is CMMI, and it is very similar to this. Basically, every company to begin with is in level 1, and for every company needs to strive to get to this level 5. But you cannot go from level 1 to level 5. You need to go to level 1 to level 2 and make sure that you are in level 2 and then go to level 3. Make sure that you are in level 3 and then go to level 4. Make sure that you are stable at level 4 and then go to level 5. Level 5 being the highest maturity model, highest in the maturity model. A post-implementation evaluation is often necessary for project. This is to assess how well the project team, the team members, and the project manager performed. So basically, you want to look at the evaluation of the team, the performance reviews of the team members and the project manager, individual reviews of the project team and the project manager, so on and so forth. Team evaluation is also great to do. The objective is to make sure that the customers are fully satisfied with the project. Okay, and also you want to look at using a survey. Maybe you can look at it from interviewing, many ways of doing things. And this is a sample team evaluation and feedback survey. One of the things is, let's say there's a scale 1 to 5, and the team member or the stakeholder will say 1 or 2, maybe